Welcome to the Beyond Cinema Studio, presented by CELEBS.com, up here at the Sundance Film Festival. Logan, Jason, Noah, and January. Firstly, congratulations on being here. Guys, when did this craziness, a preacher, a whore, a Mexican, when did all this craziness begin?
Well, the script was sent to us by the producers, and they wanted to bring us on to rewrite the screenplay, and so
we wanted to take it in a very different direction than I think it than what it was, and it came about varying stages. We probably did 30, 40 drafts of the script, and then you're writing day of the set. So I don't know where these obviously there was a core there, but Jason's character and Ed's character, we just
was a rancher.
Yeah, he was a rancher. Yeah, in the original script, he was a rancher, and
it's a much more traditional Western.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you weren't a womanizing, landowning.
He's still a womanizer. He's not always a man of God who has multiple wives, because there are, I don't want to point the finger, but there are many people today who have multiple wives, and certainly there have been communities in the past where people are polygamous. So
And of
it
course,
just so happens one of my wives is my daughter as well, so I'm keeping it in the family.
that's right. But you get to unleash hell in this as the brutal sheep farmer.
I kill people, but the thing is, if you're getting revelations directly from God, and He gives you permission and carte blanche to kill, rape, murder, and commit incest, then you're not really doing anything wrong through a certain perspective.
Yeah. Do you blame the wig?
Do I blame the wig? When I put a long wig on, bad things are going to happen.
That's right. In terms of that, I mean, Lucius obviously bad on some level. This guy bad on a little bit of a different level. The obvious, who'd win in a battle between the two evils?
Well, I think Prophet Josiah doesn't have a wand, or if he does, it's slightly more fleshy. So I think Lucius would turn him into a frog.
Very funny. January, as Sarah in this role, obviously you get to act out a little bit. Were you kind of a gun-toting person beforehand, or was this like a really kind of cool opportunity to learn some new skills?
I do not tote guns on day to day, but I've shot before in films and like clay shooting and things like that. So I was comfortable around a gun. But part of the attraction for me of the role was that she was a bit hardened, and there was a strength about her that I loved.
Do you think of it as a love story or a blood story?
I think it certainly starts out as a love story, and I think that the revenge comes from that that loss of love.
Yeah. And in terms of just working with Ed and his wife Amy as well on set, is that a kind of cool dynamic to have?
It was, yeah. I love them both dearly. They're great. They're great actors, and they're great people.
Yeah. What about with you guys? I mean, obviously a completely different relationship with Ed. In your first film, he was playing your dad essentially on a kind of autobiographical level. Here, he's kind of looking out for you in a way too. Is he just that father figure that you're taking through your kind of film experiences?
Yeah, you could definitely put it that way. He's been very generous to us and kind to us. He really actually kind of anchored us as directors to the movie.
When we rewrote the script, we sent it to Ed, and called us the next morning and said, "Hey, I'm in." And then 2 days later, we sat down with the producers and they said, "Hey, Ed, what?" Because we were at that point, we weren't the guys that were directing the movie. In our minds, we were, but not to there were several producers on the project, and they said, "So Ed, what do you think of the script?" And he's, "Oh, I really like what the boys have done, but if they're not directing, I'm not interested." So that we've become very good friends, and
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
that was totally unscripted, uncoached.
Yeah, we didn't even play. Hey,
we didn't know that he was even going to say that. So yeah, he took a huge risk on us on our first movie when we didn't have a body of work.
Yeah,
and he just trusted us implicitly and believed in us. So without really any reason to believe in us other than we were passionate and enthusiastic.
When he gets biblical on the sheriff, it's kind of poetic. It kind of looks like he's dancing.
Oh, cool. Yeah. We are you talking about when he comes
into that?
Yeah, dancing.
Yeah.
We had envisioned some that he would be dancing to, because he's this very eccentric sheriff that he would be dancing to the band playing in the street, and so those are Ed's moves.
Yeah, those are Ed's moves,
Those
exactly.
are-
There was no choreographer in this movie.
Other than
was
he
it.
dances,
Yeah.
into across the street and
Yeah,
up
he is
and-
quite the dancer, Ed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also pulled some pretty cool like WWF kind of moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of impressed by that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we had actually seen a guy when we were kids.
Yeah, that was inspired. Yeah, that move was inspired by a rec center. This guy that ran our local rec center, he did that to a kid wrote. He was Joe is a Jew on the chalkboard, and he saw him do it, and
Threw the kid outside
then did a cannibal on
him.
him. So we liked that move, thought it was effective, and so got Ed to do that.
The 1800s not an obvious choice for an independent film, given all that entails and having to create that whole world. For you guys coming into a set like that, where it's like completely a different reality, is that really kind of helpful in terms of your process? I mean, I know we've spoken before, and you're pretty intuitive in that sense.
Well, I think any time you have the opportunity to really physically transform yourself because you're in a different time period, it's helpful. It's a bit of a cheat. When you get to set already, you're already feeling like you're someone else. And the landscape itself, too, lended a whole other aspect of that we were doing something completely different.
Yeah. How did it feel being out in New Mexico?
It was beautiful. I mean, we were struggling with the monsoon season, but it we had beautiful skies and lightning and all kinds of cool stuff.
Did you keep any souvenirs from that crazy set?
I bought a house.
Holy cow.
Not with the money from the film. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Lego house.
Maybe they just didn't tell you about it. Wow, so you.
If acting is pretending or imagining you're in a situation and just trying to be that person in that situation, it's a hell of a lot easier if you're on a horse and there's a dusty street and there's people dressed in the right clothes. We've both done a lot of stuff where it's green screen and there's someone who's actually on their BlackBerry holding a tennis ball on a stick, and you have to think it's an alien flying at you. So
Be scared.
it's much easier. You're only playing let's believe, make believe. So, and if you don't have to do any work, the other thing that really helps is when the other actors are fantastic. Jerry's a fantastic actress, and Ed is, like Jerry is alive in the scene. If you look at somebody else and they really do seem to be the thing you're meant to be interacting with, you don't actually think about your own acting.
Yeah.
Because you're just there with them. They're doing 95% of the work for you.
Did you keep the knife, the Bowie knife?
Well, funnily enough, they presented me last night at the cast and crew dinner celebration with my own fresh copy of this big
really?
knife, which I was instantly thrilled with. And then I suddenly thought,
How am I going to get this
yeah,
home?
what are we going to do with this thing? But it's fantastic. We'll take pride in place on it.
Carry-on luggage, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It is funny though. Like, I mean, saying you bought a place. I mean, with Vigo, obviously worked with Ed Harris on Appaloosa, and he was saying how, like, I think either on Appaloosa or Hidalgo, he took the horse.
Yeah. He's a big horseman, though, Vigo. Loves horses.
So it's a pretty cool relationship then that you were inspired so much by this place to kind of invest in the area.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place.
Have you
It's
done
magical.
that? Have you bought a place every?
That's right. She's got a house
I
all over
collect
the world.
land. Yes. I collect property.
No, it's one of those places actually that you get there and you understand, because I knew there'd been a big, I'm an exodus, but kind of expat community from LA. A lot of people in our business buy places in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I didn't know why, because it's not on the ocean. Being British, I always don't understand if you don't buy places on the sea. And then you get there and the skies are so overwhelming. They look like they're digitally enhanced. The stars are brighter than you've ever seen, and then there's these spectacular electrical storms every night and dust storms, and the whole thing feels biblical.
Yeah, biblical, which is cool because, I mean, obviously your names and kind of that way inclined.
That wasn't meant to be a cheesy link for a character, but
Provided the perfect segue for me. I'm thankful. But also, you guys got to control the river.
Yes,
actually-
you have done your research. Jesus, how did you?
We had, I
That's-
think it was
that's incredible.
like an 8-hour window,
Yeah, 8
I
hour.
believe. Where
No,
we,
no. 4 or 6 hour window, I think, to shoot that.
yeah, because it was the scene in particular where January was in the river. It was.
We had scouted it 4 weeks earlier, and it was much lower, and then it just kept.
And then it
rising
rained
rising
and rained.
Was that something you asked for and then it just happened, or like
No, we didn't want it that high.
Yeah.
Oh,
in terms of enabling,
Yes.
enabling
Oh
that to
yeah,
happen?
yeah. We
Yeah.
worked with the. Gosh, I'm
Jeez,
blanking
New Mexico
right here.
Department of Water, whatever.
And they gave us a brief time where they would actually they lowered, they just stopped the flow. They
It was
reduced the flow
very,
coming
it was
out.
a
No,
very
they
strong.
they reduced the flow coming out of the dam because had the water level been what it was, it would have swept her away. Yeah, January would have been all doosh. First day. We didn't even.
Anything for art, right? No, they were gonna put one of those. What are they called? Things around my ankle in case it did sweep me away. That they could try to lose.
Weights.
A leash.
A leash, wow.
Wow.
Holy shit.
But as long as I didn't step too far in, and every once in a while I'd step a little bit too far in and get, pulled down.
I think it was the location manager even said that there was even an option to lower the river, and we thought he was kidding at first.
Yeah.
And they said, no, I'm totally serious. Yeah, I'll talk to the
it cold?
guys and see if we can do it.
It was freezing.
And at what point did Jason Aldean become a good choice for his mate?
That was something that the producers were keen on.
And we thought he did fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Casting
I'm
was
just
fine.
listen, I'm English, so I had no idea he's one of the biggest music stars in the country. He was really humble and lovely.
Oh,
and
so nice. Yeah, actually,
Just
sorry,
he
we
was a
met him
great
out in
guy.
Palm Springs. Sorry, prior. We met him out in Palm Springs, and yeah, he was just very humble. And
He wanted a very small role. He said, I don't want to come out there and all these established actors thinking that I'm trying to strut around, acting like I know what I'm doing. He said, I'm a performer, and so I do act,
Every night.
every night on stage, and I love movies, and it's a great opportunity for me to see if I have some talent at it, and but I want it to be a smaller.
he was
role,
very gracious.
so-
Yeah, he was great. He was great on the horse.
great.
Honestly, if people hadn't told me, I would never have known that he was a giant celebrity. He never did bring any of that stuff with him.
I think it's really cool. It looks like he really got to kind of, in an idealistic sense, like just grab people from all over the planet and put them in this place. And the fact that you managed to get them all on your second movie and now have it up at Sundance is a pretty amazing kind of record and a vindication of you guys.
Thank you.
So congratulations on having the film up here, and thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Those are very well researched questions.
Yeah, I know. Gee.
How did you know? How did you
know about the water?
How did you know about that?
Where did that come from? I'm sorry. Were you in the bushes when January was naked out
There
there?
was a guy in the bushes.